So then I think we will not wait more, because everyone who wanted to connect is already here. So I think that Dima, please, you can open our presentation, and I will yes, and I will start. So just a minute. Okay, so the topic of our presentation or of our webinar today is our wireless immobilizer ADM33 and its connection and installation process, and also use of this device. This webinar will be absolutely technical one, and Dima will explain in details about the process of configurations and installing of this device, and it will be really useful for everyone who have already this device and want to know how to configure it properly, or for those who want to begin to use it, to make it clear how everything is organized here. So, and before we move to the technical part, I will just give you some general information about this device for those of you who maybe are not familiar with it. So you can change the slide. So, Dima, please. Now on the slide, you can see technical features of this device. I will not, of course, read all of them, but you can still look through it, and maybe if you have some questions, then we will answer them a little bit later. And so the immobilizer. It is used for being installed on moving or stationary objects to control electrical circuits. It can be installed on vehicles to block electrical circuits of the ignition system, or, for example, fuel supply in order to block the engine work or the engine startup. And also it can be installed on stationary objects as a switcher, for example, to block the doors, or for some other objects, stationary objects. So next slide, please. Some features that I want also to mention is that this this immobilizer is compatible with both 20 and 12 and 24 volts vehicles, which means that it can be used as with cars, with trucks, and with all types of vehicles. And it has two modes of operation: electromechanical relay for vehicles of 12 volts and semiconductor relay for vehicles of 24 volts. Then it can cut the engine in the absence of Bluetooth connection. What does it mean? Well, basically, this immobilizer can be used with GPS tracker, or autonomously with for example, phone, Android phone. And if it is used with the GPS tracker, and for example, so a criminal tries to affect physically GPS tracker, it can, for example, break it or just throw out the car. In this case, the immobilizer will be able to act autonomously and cut, for example, engine if there are no Bluetooth signal. But also, the next point, it's fully programmable. So there are various scenarios that are based on its anti-theft algorithm, and everything can be configured. And Dima will a little bit later show us how everything is, how we can set up all the parameters, for example, to block for not to block the engine of a car while it's moving, or for example block well, after, not immediately, but after various seconds or minutes. And everything is programmable, and you can set it how you want. So it's absolutely undetectable. Why? Because this immobilizer is a passive device, a device that doesn't transmit any signals, that doesn't send any signals itself. It's only receiving the information, receiving the commands from GPS tracker or Android device. And that means that we can't detect that there's a immobilizer in the car, and criminals or thieves will not be able to understand that that there is this device installed. So and it also has accelerometer that detects vibrations, and it helps this device to be autonomous, one more time, because even if there are no GPS tracker, it can itself identify that the car is moving or not, well, using the accelerometer. Next slide, please. Here are shown two schemes of operation, two variants how it can work. The first one is showing the operation of ADM33 with our GPS tracker. What we can see here, we can see the sign of Bluetooth, and that means that the connection between these two devices is based on Bluetooth low energy. That means there are no cables. Both of them have this module Bluetooth low energy, and the connection between them is absolutely wireless, which is also very, very important and very practical, because firstly, it's easy to configure it, and secondly, for the best protection, the wireless connection between two devices can help us and can protect the relay, because no one will be able to find it by these cables. So, and then the GPS tracker transmits all the data via GSM to any telematic server, which can actually be server which you want. So any server, Wylon, Navixi, our server, for example, Globars, and etc. Compatible with all kinds of platforms. So, and the second variant is the use of ADM33 with Android device. And in this case, is everything okay with my camera? In this case, we also see that the connection between them is based on Bluetooth low energy. And here I'd like to mention that the distance between the immobilizer and the Android device shouldn't be more than 100 meters for its operation. So it's very important to have in mind that the distance shouldn't be more than 100 meters. So we have two applications for Android, one for configuration of the ADM33, and the second is for end clients, for end users. That is very, very simple, and we can just open the application and block by pressing the button, this immobilizer, or block the engine or unblock, or not only the engine. So I think that this is in general information, general principles of use of this device. And now we will move directly to the topic, to the configuration and installation process. And Dima, please, I'd like you to give you the floor now.
Yes, hello everyone. Thanks, Ivana, to your introduction and very informative part. Yes, as Elena already mentioned, we have two basic options of how to use ADM33 wireless immobilizer uh, as controlling device, control for some electric circuits, obviously. So yes, we told you a lot of times about these, but we still receive some questions. We still receive some requests for additional information about ADM33, and I think this webinar will be, like clarification, like the clarification one. So yes, firstly about how to set the device up, how to make it work properly, how to configure it to your specific design. In this case, we should use our Android application. It will be for iOS too, but at the moment we will show you the Android app. So let me show you how does it work. Let me share the screen. Yes, here you can see the screen of my cell phone, this one. You can see two different applications, ADM immobilizer and ADM333ble configurator, for settings, for configuration, for controlling. We recommend you to use ADM333ble configurator. We open it. In the top right corner, you can see the K icon with something like QR code. Here, this menu option, this menu point will direct us to so-called protected device window. This part of the application is fully designed to work with ADM33. Since last demonstration, actually, we added a couple of features like QR code scanning. It's fully integrated now. You can download this application from Google Play, and you will have the this variant, this version of the application on your cell phone. So here we already have the device address, but actually I think we can even scan the address one more time. Yes, you can see that the QR code is read just in 1 second. So we can control immobilizer state directly from this application. You can see two options here, on or off, and also visibility regime, but it's not maybe such useful as the controlling option. So I hope you can see. No, let me show it just later. Yeah, I think it will be more visionary comfortable. So we can move to the configuration. Here we should enter the password. You can change it as you want, but by default it's like I demonstrated to you right now. So yes, the whole control window of the ADM33 contains of immobilizer state setting, relay states. We can set initial state. Initial state is the position, the state of the ADM33 when you just power it up. When this device do not receive any signal from the controlling device, like your cell phone or tracking device, if there are nothing in the area that may affect the device state. So by default, after the power up, it will be in this specific state. In our case, it will be off, but if I will make it like that, it will be on by default. Some alarm state, you can read it a little lower in case of losing connection with the tracker or a phone. Yes, this is the state, the alarm state that wireless relay and wireless immobilizer will activate in case of, for example, controlling device malfunction or controlling device absence, like car theft. Just find your tracking device, pull it out and throw it away. The immobilizer may detect it and change the state according to this setting. Also, connection loss block is connected with the previous one. So here we have a command waiting timeout. This is the time that will be the device will wait before turning the current state to the alarm state. And alarm state switch. This is the condition, the reason what should happen to the device to change the state to the alarm one. In our case, we manifest that the tracking device should never change the state. But also we have two, actually three different opportunities. Always at stop or at motion. Always, it means that whenever the ADM, the wireless immobilizer lose the connection with the tracking device or your cell phone or your smartphone, it will change the state to the alarm one. At stop means that if your car is moving at speed of 100 kilometers per hour, and something happens and your immobilizer loses the connection with the controlling device, tracker or cell phone, it will not cut the engine, it will not cut the fuel pump. This is protection. This is your guarantee not to disable the engine at the speed that may cause some troubles and even car accidents, obviously. At motion, vice versa. If the wireless immobilizer detects that there is no connection with controlling device and also detects that there are some vibrations, the car is running, it will cut the engine. This option is useful for anti-theft solution. You left your car, you set this configuration, you record it into the device memory, move your cell phone away, so the tracking device, not the tracking device, sorry, so the wireless immobilizer understand that there is no connection with the controlling device, and car theft again invades somehow in your car, start to move, and the accelerometer built in this wireless immobilizer detects motion, and the ADM33 cuts engine, fuel pump, injector, and so on. Yeah, let me change these settings so you will be sure that this functionality works. Also, password setting for security, broadcasting duration, the setting that marks what time you will have to connect the device if you want to change its settings. In this case, we'll have 30 seconds, but this time may be increased. You can see here that we have the frames of 5 or 255 seconds. Yeah, also we can conduct factory reset, we can check the firmware update. It's very easy to make it. It may be fully conducted via the application. You should not use anything, any file, any program to update the firmware. We always trying to add some new features, some new opportunities, new fixes already also. So it will be very easy for you to update this device. And the last but not the least, at least in in the dimension of importance, the relay type. This wireless immobilizer has two different variants of how you can use it. Elena also already mentioned that you may install it both on 12 volts or 24 volts cars. To make it possible, we installed two different relays inside this device: electromechanical and semiconductor relays. In case of electromechanical, you'll have two different outputs, normally opened and normally closed. So they are working differently. Yeah. If you activate one, another will be deactivated. In case of semiconductor relay, you may use two channels simultaneously. You may activate it both or deactivate it both also. The important moment is that semiconductor relay may be used both for 12 volts and 24 volts cars, but the electromechanical only for 12 volts. And also you may, you can make the inversion of the signal in case of, for some reason, you need to change the commands that should block the engine or unblock it. Yes, it's not as hard and as tough as it may seem before. This is the application for integrator. Mostly we position it as the application of made for the people who understand fully what they need to receive from this immobilizer. For end user, for end client, we have more simple variant. Let me show you it. Yeah, you can see the visibility regime that I described to you may be useful in case of installation, because via this regime we can see the RSSI. This is the signal strength of the equipment we are installing. For the wireless equipment, as you may know, it's maybe the most important parameter among all of them. Please, during the installation, do not forget to check it. Do not forget to be sure that your tracking device and your cell phone are able to detect the wireless immobilizer and wireless immobilizer, able to detect your controlling devices, tracking or smartphone. Yes, and the next step is ADM immobilizer. End user application also available in Google Play at the moment. So it's much more simple and easy. We have two different options, on or off. Activate relay wireless immobilizer or deactivate it. This window basically designed for the situations when you use this device as a relay, just as switch on and leave it like that, or switch off and leave it like that. If you want to use it as immobilizer, fully as immobilizer, with alarm regime that may be triggered by signal loss. If you want to use it as authorization mechanism, we may move here in settings and activating broadcasts. These broadcast settings allow you to make your cell phone work as a key that will unlock the immobilizer when the immobilizer detects the signal, these broadcasting messages from your cell phone. We can launch it, we can set the state whenever we want, and here we can see the permanent broadcast, state on or state off. Here we also can change immobilizer addresses and remember them or not. Yes, this is how we can control tracking device, not the tracking device. This is how we can control wireless immobilizer, or how we can configure it via your smartphone. Yes, and now I'd like to show you how does it work. So we also may control this device via the tracker. I already mentioned it, and Elena mentioned it, and Xenia mentioned it. You have different options to use this equipment. This one may be useful for car sharing. In South Africa, we have partners that utilize such a solution within the car sharing, and the wireless immobilizer and cell phone are maybe more for end user, for the driver that you maybe believe that you can give some rights to control its own car, to be responsible for it, and so on. Yes. Also, we can show you how does it work with the tracking device. Here we have the ADM333ble, the configurator, the PC version of ADM configurator, and commands that we should use. First of all, we need to add the address of the relay that we will control. It's already here, very easy to make, as I already said. The address is located on the sticker right here. You just write it, and now you can control your wireless immobilizer. Let it be BLE output 1 or BLE output 0. Both these features are responsible for putting your immobilizer to the specific state, activated or deactivated. Very easy, very simple, 2 different commands. And if you want to disable this functionality, if you want your tracker to stop to control the wireless immobilizer, you just send this command, BLE output 255, that stops it. So yes, I hope you can see it well, that there are 2 LEDs. One of them is responsible for the relay activation, and another is responsible for relay deactivation. So right now I will just change state via the smartphone, and you can see that the lights are changing. This is very, very simple, very easy to manage from your cell phone, from your PC, from telematics server. You also send this command from your telematics server. You may send them via the SMS messages. Yes, this is how this system works. About the installation, our recommendations are very same as for our wireless sensors, ADM31, ADM32, as for wireless fuel level sensors. Please always keep in your mind RSI values. They are very important. They are responsible for your opportunity in further to control devices really wirelessly, not with your cell phone, for example, but also via the tracking device. Be sure that connection is stable. We always recommend you, our partners, not to exceed RSI value of minus 85 dBm, because values above it, they are still okay. They do not mean that you are fully unable to control your equipment, to control devices, but they for sure will lead to some instability, to they will not give you the feeling that you may be fully sure that everything works fine. Please keep it in your mind, and everything will work fine. Also, try to locate, to mount your wireless device as far from electromagnetic fields, strong electromagnetic fields as possible, because they will affect the strength of the signal 100%. And also big, wide metal plates. They absorbing the signal of actually not only Bluetooth, but GPS, GSM, and so on. So they will lead you to the less quality of functioning of any of your devices. So be aware of them. Be aware of these features, of these specific, and try not to meet these problematic situations during the installation. Try to avoid them. Yes, I think these parts that I marked you within my speech right now are pretty covering most of features about ADM33, about its functionality with tracking device and and your cell phone with some additional applications. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and Elena will be happy to answer you.
I see that now we don't have any questions on YouTube. I don't see any. So I think we can show the last slide with our contacts, and maybe yes, later when you have some questions, will be. I see one question. How many wires has Bluetooth immobilizer?
How many wires? It has 5 wires. Minus of power supply, plus of power supply, common wire, normally open contact, and normally closed contact. 5 wires at all. You can actually see them here. Let me stop the share of contacts. Yes. This one, the black one, is minus of power supply. The red one is plus of power supply. The blue one is common wire. The white one is normally opened, and the brown is normally closed. The common wire is useful only in case of electromechanical relay usage. If we use the semiconductor relay, we will not connect the common wire. These nuances are fully depicted and presented in our manual. In our manual about ADM33, you can find it on our website.
Okay. So I think we can. I see that there's some problems with my camera and it's
Yes.
turning off. I'm really, really sorry for that. But I think that now we can finish our webinar. So if you don't have any questions, Lewis says thank you. Thank you, Lewis, very much for being with us and for asking questions. I think that it's all for today. And so see you soon. See you next webinar. We will, as always, announce it in our social networks and all groups. So, and for now, I think that we explained all the crucial points and all the process of installation and configuration. Yes?
Yes, I believe.
So, thank you, Dima, very much for explaining, and see you soon.